I got some tips today for how to sell your home in these challenging times. It's early 2024 and it's like anything's up for grabs. One day it's politics, one day it's interest rates, one day it's big news about something else around the world. Who knows? Bottom line is you've decided to make a move. You're here in Cleveland. You want to sell your home and you want to know what to do. If you like videos like this, subscribe to our channel and comment below with what you think is going on in the housing market today. While you think this might be a little bit self-serving, I do want to say that I want you to work with a top agent because those agents that really know what they're doing are experts both in negotiation, in bringing your house to the market, which is of course really first step, making sure it looks just right, and in all things real estate. We aren't attorneys. However, a lot of what real estate agents do is legal, and we want to make sure that the person that you work with really knows their way around the block. I mean, if you know what I mean. They really know what they're doing so that you get your documents right, you get your negotiations right, and ultimately you get the most amount of money for your house in the shortest amount of time. A lot of people start the conversation with real estate agents like this. Hi, Shoshana, how much do you charge for commission? Well, you know what? It's really part of a larger conversation. If all you're looking at is a cost, it's super hard to prove value. The minute you really get into it with what real estate agents do day in and day out, you will find that paying for the service isn't really onerous. It's a relief to pay somebody who has expert negotiation skills, has those legal aspects to what they do and really understands them and understands how to get your house sold. What I always ask people is, what do you do professionally? My very first real estate transaction ever was with somebody who was a tax accountant. I said, Walter, what do you say to people who want to do their own taxes? I really enjoyed working with him. He goes, oh, honey, I say, don't try this at home. And I would say that to you too. Don't get yourself in a legal quandary allowing people in your home who aren't necessarily pre-approved and ready to buy. Allow yourself to have proper representation when it comes to the sale of your house. Now, you want to clean, repair, and upgrade, but within a budget, right? I want you to get super clean, more clean than you ever thought your house could be. Oh, but Shoshana, at my house I can eat off the floors. Yeah, cool. I really want you to prove that to me. I want those light switch plates wiped off. And you know when your kids walk down the stairs, and every child everywhere does this? Yes, even mine. Walk down the stairs, basically wiping their hands on the walls. I want all of that super clean. And where the cat kind of, there's like some little cat hair in the corners, things like that, clean. No, don't just vacuum your carpets, shampoo your carpets. Get the outside of your house power washed. Get your windows cleaned. Then while you're doing that, you will notice some repairs that need to be made. Not crazy repairs. I'm talking about light bulbs hanging in the basement, screens that are ripped. I'm talking about basic things that need to be done. You know that knob that always falls off when you go to use the dimmer switch? Just get those things repaired so that the buyer doesn't have to come in to a house that needs things done right away. When we're talking about upgrades, I don't want you to go crazy. All I want you to do is hit those trims with a nice fresh coat of paint. Make sure that looks really good. Get the potted plant for the front stairs. Get yourself a fresh doormat, for crying out loud. Don't make me show a house where the doormat looks crummy. I know it's like nothing, but in the end of the day, those little upgrades make all the difference. Now, let's get your house prepared for marketing. What do I mean? Well, the number one question I always get from sellers is, Shoshana, what do you do for marketing? And I really usually have the same answer, which is we sell over 150 homes a year. A lot of those are listings, at least half. That means that I know how to roll out a house, how to expose it to market properly. But what it means to you as the seller is that you should very first depersonalize your home. If you have beautiful family portraits, that's fine. But the mishmash of pictures everywhere really need to be boxed. I mean, after all, you're moving, right? When you're thinking about this, the way I want you to think about it is people come into homes and they look at the wall and they say, who are these people? Do we know them? Have I ever met these people? And I'm like, what do you care? It just doesn't matter. Don't focus on the people in the house, focus on the house. And a lot of times people get super fixated on the refrigerator or the appliances in general. Ooh, I love the appliances. I'm like, okay, but appliances, you can walk into any big box store and you can buy tomorrow. But the fridge, they get super fixated on the fridge because there's all that stuff on it, right? Clear that off, spray, wipe, get the handles really clean and really nice so that people can actually see what you have. Then we're going to talk about staging. I know we've covered that a lot in a different video, but I do want to ask that when you walk into the living room, that it looks open and inviting instead of closed off. I would prefer not to walk into a back of a piece of furniture, if at all possible. Then we'll talk about photos. I always use an amazing photographer that I know here, and I really, really strongly recommend professional photos, no matter what your situation is, no matter your price point. If you don't have professional photos, the buyers are not as attracted to your house. With professional photos, when they come in, it's like they're coming in a second time. A showing is almost a second showing because they've really spent all their time scrolling through the photos online on most of the websites that you and I both know and love. Our next tip is I want you to sell at the right time. What's the right time? Shoshana, what is the right time to sell my house? How many people do I know that have tried to time the market, both financially? Well, interest rates are X, so I better sell at this time, or buyers are paying that, I better sell at that time. Things are going to change because elections are coming up. Any number of scenarios. Let me tell you something, timing a market is basically not a thing. Now, just today, I saw a graphic that showed when property prices were expected to peak, and it was actually mid-April, interesting enough. So if you're thinking of selling, it is time. But does that mean that houses don't sell in May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, and February, and March? No, it does not mean that at all. Houses sell all 12 months of the year. Even in the deep snow, even in rain, even in heat, even in months you would not think houses sell. Houses sell all 12 months of the year. Now, on that note, we do have a really crazy winter here. Even though it hasn't been so crazy lately, it's cold and it's dark and it gets dark early. It is more challenging to sell your house in December and January. If it's your time to sell, it's okay, because that's when the serious buyers are out there and we're going to maximize your home in the season that you're selling it. So when is the right time to sell your house? When you need to move, when you're ready to step up to that next house, when you got the job in the new city, when your kid graduated and it's time to downsize. Whatever your situation, we will get the timing right exactly for you. Before I get to my final tip, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. There's going to be lots of videos all about selling in Northeast Ohio, getting your home ready, getting it on the market, and getting you the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. That brings me to my final subject, and that is pricing. Do not let a news story that you recently saw dictate your pricing. Allow your real estate professional to educate you about the market, your hyper-local market, your larger city market, your county market, your state market, and even nationally. I don't know if you saw the news, but everybody's talking about the Austin, Texas housing market going down. You might say, Austin, Texas is a little bit far from Cleveland, Ohio, and yes, it is. There are reasons that market is important to pay attention to, even here in the Great Lakes region, and I will explain them to you when we meet. Meanwhile, if you let your real estate professional just explain the market to you, you know how it is. If butter were $10 a pound, you'd buy margarine. If your home is priced at $500,000, but it really is a $350,000 house, there just isn't going to be a buyer. So we will dig into the numbers, we'll get you priced perfectly, and we'll get your house sold, because now, my friends, more than ever, knowing your numbers matters.